Do they not know, like, when she was gone, it went back to the year before she was in the league?
Former NBA star Gilbert Arenas has a stark warning for Caitlin Clark's critics in the WNBA, and they'd be wise to pay attention. While Clark continues to draw record-breaking ratings, sell-out crowds, and billion-dollar buzz every time she steps on the court, there's a real risk that some players might sabotage the momentum and potentially bring it all crashing down.
We got a proposal from the league, which was honestly a slap in the face.
Right now, WNBA players are entering the most important negotiation of their careers, the new collective bargaining agreement. And they're coming in fired up, voicing their frustrations publicly and gearing up for a fight. But what we may actually be witnessing is one of the biggest miscalculations in sports history. These players don't seem to realize the trap they're walking into, one that could unravel everything Caitlin Clark has built for the league. While they remain unaware, fans and analysts of Clark are sounding the alarm. In fact, the situation has become so tense that many are now openly urging Caitlin to start her own league. At the beginning of the season, that idea seemed far-fetched, but after everything we've seen unfold, it suddenly feels like a real possibility, maybe even a necessity. So what exactly did Gilbert Arenas say? And what recent developments might push Caitlin to take drastic action? Stick around as we break it all down and let me know in the comments if you think my prediction is on point. But first, go ahead and like this video and drop A in the comments if you think Caitlin should start her own league. Now let's rewind to a moment that turned out to be eerily prophetic.
Cause I'm hearing like, yeah, they don't give us, if y'all don't give us what we want, like, we sit out.
That's a possibility, for real.
This was Angel Reese and DJ Carrington talking tough about CBA negotiations before the season even started. And they got absolutely roasted for it. Not because people don't think WNBA players deserve better pay, they do. And like it or not, a raise is coming. After all, you can't have Caitlin Clark earning less than the manager at a local car wash. What shocked people was the tone, the arrogance, the complete disconnect from reality. Because the truth is, they're not the ones holding the leverage. That power belongs to one person, Caitlin Clark.
When she came into the league, obviously interest went way up and some of the finances went way up, but there was some argument that it was a little bit of, a rising tide lifts all boats. But here we go with Caitlin Clark singularly being missing for the time she was gone and ratings tanking 50% in some cases. And then also she comes back and reminds everyone how spectacular she is. And everybody's talking about the WNBA. So if you needed to sort of have it affirmed to you that it is just her, that the singularity of her is what we are talking about and her star power, you got it.
It's simple. When Caitlin Clark plays, ratings soar. When she's not on the court, they plummet. This isn't up for debate anymore. The numbers speak for themselves. But here's what's wild. Even as Caitlin drives the league's momentum, some players have only become more hostile. The pettiness, the jealousy, it's hitting a new level. And for many fans and even some media voices, the All-Star voting fiasco was the final straw.
9th best guard in the league. Don't try to give me the excuses of, well, she's been struggling lately, or she missed some games with injury. Come on, this is insanity. And I think it's an activist vote by the women of the WNBA who simply cannot stand her success. It's so dumb and it's so childish.
Caitlin Clark led all players in fan votes by a record margin. But the player vote, they didn't just bump her out of the top 4. They ranked her the 9th best guard. Not 9th overall, 9th among guards. This is the same player who finished 4th in MVP voting just last year. And despite battling through injuries this season, her numbers aren't far off. Let's be honest, they don't guard her like she's 9th best. She gets double-teamed the moment she crosses half court. She is the scouting report. And this is why what Gilbert Arenas said, "Dan, what's happening now matters so much." Every jab at Caitlin Clark doesn't just hit her. It pushes her fans away. And when those fans walk, the league doesn't just lose viewers. It loses the opportunity to turn them into lifelong WNBA supporters. Right now, a large part of Clark's fan base doesn't just feel ignored. They feel rejected. They're not indifferent to the league. They're actively rooting against it. They cheer when ratings drop. It's become us versus them. And the WNBA helped create that divide. Now throw this into the mix. A potential player strike. If that happens, those new fans, gone instantly, and they may never come back. To make things even more complicated, some of the loudest voices in the CBA fight might also have the biggest conflict of interest imaginable.
Let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. The owner of a competing basketball league is negotiating the salaries of players who are playing in the league they're competing against? But KC, Unrivaled isn't competing with the WNBA. Unrivaled was launched so WNBA players had the opportunity to make six-figure salaries that they could never earn in the WNBA. I'm pretty sure that is the definition of conflict of interest.
Two key figures in the WNBA's ongoing collective bargaining negotiations, Brina Stewart and Nafisa Collier, aren't just representing players at the table. They're also co-founders of Unrivaled, a competing league with outside investors, a national TV deal. And many of the WNBA's top stars already signed on. So while they're negotiating the future of the WNBA, they're simultaneously building a backup plan, one that could potentially replace the league entirely. For many new fans, it's just one more reason to question the integrity of the W. And while those fans love Caitlin Clark, there's only so long they'll stick around in a league that seems to undervalue her. Which brings us back to Gilbert Arenas. With everything happening, the jealousy, the CBA power plays, the quiet conflicts of interest, he cut through the noise and said what the WNBA desperately needs to hear.
Just enjoy and go on with it.
Yeah.
Like, think about what they was getting paid before they said, Jordan, you're the guy. What do you think Magic and Bird and all them making? Do you know how much Charles Barkley was making his rookie year before the TV deals that Jordan brung in? If you're making $40,000, every 5 months, and now you're making 80, then just do your job.
And vote for the person who got you there. Yeah, that's weird to me.
Gilbert Arenas has a lot more to say, but let's pause for a second. Because this is what's blowing people's minds. The WNBA has the female Michael Jordan in Caitlin Clark. She's pulling in record-shattering ratings, packing arenas across the country, and dragging the league into a whole new tier of TV money. That upcoming media rights deal, it's reportedly worth $270 million per year, nearly $3 billion over its full run. That's the real reason the league is rushing to renegotiate the CBA. And yet, the pettiness continues. The jealousy, the infighting. It's insane. Gilbert Arenas nails it when he calls out the players' total lack of perspective.
She, y'all eat.
Clean up. Let me clean up. I got y'all.
Like this is what you wanted. This is what you needed, that we're not watching you for your talent. Someone came in that everybody wants to watch, kids, everybody. Now we can see your talent.
This isn't rocket science, but somehow, the players still don't seem to get it. Caitlin's spotlight doesn't just shine on her, it lights up the entire league. Just look at the fever. Even when Caitlin's out of the lineup, their games are still pulling in over 1 million viewers, more than double what most other teams are seeing. And there's a reason for that, which I'll break down in a moment. But first, that line Gilbert Arenas dropped says it all. When she eats, you all eat. It's not the first time a former player has said what current WNBA stars refuse to acknowledge, but it might be the one they most need to hear right now.
I think we have to understand that when one player eats, we all eat. And as we all get more opportunities, it just opens it up for everyone else. And I think Caitlin has said that even herself in certain interviews. And I love that. I love that she's not the player who's like, it's all about her. It's not. She's giving love and homage to those of us that have come before her. She shares the wealth with her teammates, and she doesn't have to do that. So I just don't, again, I don't know what the big deal is about the fact that Caitlin is getting a lot of love. She deserves that, and she's helped change this game just as a lot of other players have.
But here's where Gilbert hits on hat might be the biggest misstep in all of this, the players' single worst miscalculation. They thought they could come at Caitlin Clark without consequences. That they could throw shade, minimize her success, complain about her fans, and nothing would happen. But they forgot one crucial thing.
So if you're sitting there beating it up and doing all this, all y'all become is hated. Like, have y'all not paid attention? No one is caring about anything else. You want to beat on it, they're going to hate on it. You want to talk they're going to hate on it. Like, there comes a point where reality has to kick in. You can keep fighting the fight, and you're going to be the odd person that looks bad.
That's the heart of it right there. Instead of creating a welcoming environment that invited Caitlin Clark's fans to become WNBA fans, the league and many of its players did the exact opposite. They let jealousy take over, and in the process, They alienated the very people who were ready to invest in the league's future. By constantly throwing shade at Caitlin, they didn't just target her, they turned her massive, loyal fanbase against them. Meanwhile, the Indiana Fever took a completely different approach. Their Now You Know campaign sent one clear message. Our fans don't need permission. They don't need to be corrected, converted, or told how to cheer. They're here and we're glad to have them. And it worked. Even with Caitlin out of the lineup, Fever games continue to dominate in viewership, crushing every other team. Yes, the Fever have made plenty of mistakes this season, but there's one thing they've gotten right. They embraced their fans. The league hasn't. And now, we're watching a full-blown US versus them mentality take root, not just between Fever fans and other teams, but between Caitlin Clark's supporters and the WNBA itself. And this is where the players are walking straight into a trap with their CBA strategy. They think those casual fans will come back, but the truth is they won't. They're already walking away, and that's led us to this moment.
I never remember this being true before, but I think it is true for her. Never been true in team sports. The WNBA needs Caitlin Clark more than Caitlin Clark needs the WNBA. If the league will not protect her and allow her to play basketball at the highest level, then she should leave and start a brand new league. Heck, I would invest in it. If you told me right now, hey, Clay, you can invest in Caitlin Clark or you can invest in the WNBA without Caitlin Clark, I would invest in Caitlin Clark's new league. I just would.